Hello, again. We're recording. Excellent. Okay. Today, again, continuing with collection. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. My cat is staring at me and she wants to jump on the desk. No. Not while I'm recording, she won't. Playing in the background. Soma by Ets. This is a French new metal deathcore merging band. This is their debut, came out in 2004. At this point, new metal was on its way out, or pretty much dead. But this also predated the whole deathcore craze of the late 2000s. So they were onto something. Now there's that whole new metalcore shit, which some of it is atrocious, but some of it's pretty decent. But yeah, French, super brutal, new metally, groovy, kind of really weird rhythms at times. I don't know. I like it. This is the 2007 repress on Season of Mist. I don't know who originally put it out in 2004, but whatever. It's playing in the background. Flip side of that, first thing that we're going to talk about is Amatris. Before the Final Journey. It's Amatris. I don't know. No one knows them. Maybe because their name sounds like something you get at Mancini's Sleep World. But this is a German... Oh, God. I forgot how bad the photography in this album was. This is a German gothic metal band. Really rumbly. This came out in 2006, I think. It is super dated at this point. No one was putting out music like this. And I think its main crime is that it is kind of lacking in personality. I don't know. It doesn't really pull me into it, and I've only really given it a full spin maybe once. And yeah, my main complaint, not very memorable. It doesn't have much personality. And that's not to say that it's not new, because it's not. But I don't like to judge things as being bad if it's something that I've heard before. It's more about is it good? And honestly, it was fine. That's all I really have to say about it. Moving on, Emberian Dawn. This is a very fluttery, symphonic, neoclassical power metal outfit. At least they were. I think lately they've been doing a little bit more electronic rock. I don't really know what's going on there, but this is very operatic. This is their debut album, The River of 20, released in 2008 on Ascendance Records, or licensed from Key Suomen Musiikki 2008. So this is was originally put out in Finland by a Finnish record label before, being licensed to Transcendence. I think later Spinefarm. I don't know. Super dark, menacing power metal. My big problem with power metal is that it always seems to be really weightless, and even the shreddy stuff isn't very engaging. This is super engaging. It is dramatic. It is dark. It is just... I'm sorry. It's just really... I don't know. It's spooky. It's atmospheric, but it is unrelenting, relentless. Fucking power metal. Super nimble fingered. Really nice. Next I have a band that needs no introduction. This is a Monomarth. This is the only thing I have by them. This is Twilight of the Thunder God. I've been meaning for 10 years. 10 years? 7 years, maybe, to keep going back and listening to a Monomarth, but I never do. To this day, this is the only one I've ever listened to, and I do really, really enjoy it. It's just really catchy, fucking melodic death metal. Swedish, super Swedish. I'm not going to say Viking metal. I fucking hate the term Viking metal. View the metal tag video where I describe why. But yeah. This is... Okay. I'm not going to edit this out in post. You're going to have to watch me struggle. Okay, cringe? Probably. It's fine. I'm on Amarth. Next, a lot of this is actually from one single band. Very well-known band, at least from what I've gathered here on the vinyl community. I don't do vinyl. I have one single vinyl record. It's behind this envelope. It's Evanescence. One vinyl. Anathema. This is their debut album. This is the repress on Peaceful Records. I think this is 2003. Beautiful disc, by the way. Actually, let's pull out the actual disc. That, like, cascading stream. Beautiful. This, whatever this is, to this day, I'm not really sure what is trying to be conveyed to me. Sexy Fly Mummy. Coming to a Spirit Halloween store near you. Very basic reprint. I actually really like the Peaceful Records represses a lot. They just are very straightforward and nice. Death Doom, Peaceful 3. Oh yeah, they were always on Peaceful. Until recently. Yeah, Peaceful 3. Not really sure how influential they were in the grand scheme of things because of other bands that were already out before they even released an EP. But yeah, honestly, this was, for the longest time, the only Peaceful 3 band that I enjoyed even a little. I'm slowly, changing my mind on My Dying Bride, but Paradise Lost is still lost on me. But yeah, Death Doom, kind of a mixed bag. Some of the stuff I really do enjoy, and some of it I just do not. Boring, some of it, but it is really crushing, I will say. But, this is much better. This is a much better release. This is Pentecost 3, the EP. That was also the last one that they did with Darren White, I think was his name, as vocalist. This is the 1995 Fierce Records press, I think. Really reflective disc. Very 90s. This came out in 1995. It was delayed until next year. I think it was supposed to be released in 1994. Very basic booklet. It's a step up from Serenades, but I still don't generally care to listen to it, with much consistency or, frequency. It does have very nice artwork, though. Yeah, I don't know. Next, I have their second album. This is the Icarus Press from 2012 in Digipack of The Silent Enigma, which I think is actually their best Death Doom stuff. Though I haven't listened to Crestfallen in a very, very long time, but I remember liking it. This, I think, is the best stuff that they did in their Doom Death phase. This is just really dark. I think, actually, it feels a lot more cohesive than the rest of their stuff. Has some bonus tracks. In general, I think vocally is what really kind of bugs me about this band, at least in the very beginning. That has always been a big issue for me, is amateurish harsh vocals. In the early 90s, late 80s, that was a big problem because they hadn't refined the style yet. So a lot of these bands had kind of less, subpar vocals that sound like it hurt, and that really bugs me as a listener. But yeah, so that here we have, instead of Darren White, the delivery is slightly different, where it was kind of forced and really throaty. This feels a little bit more correct, but he does a lot more clean speaking, and he has a lot more of a lilty voice, in contrast to whenever Darren would speak, and it was this deep, slow kind of sounds, a little daft. If you've ever met someone who's talked really slow. So you just kind of have to trade off, where I'm not really a fan of either. I think this band's heyday was later, much later. Moving on. This is Eternity. This is another 2003 repress on Peaceful Records. This is their first album that could be considered gothic metal. And this is honestly, even weaker than the other stuff. I should like this a lot more. I feel obligated to like it a lot more. But I don't. It's very, again, lilty and kind of, atmospheric, but a little overbearingly so. And the vocal performances are kind of rough. That fake. It's not like an OBI strip, but, they started doing that for bio and advertisement purposes. Has a very nice aesthetic, though. Let's get a closer look at that. Rough vocal performances. The music is just kind of a little meandering at times. It's not really my favorite. But it did set the stage for what I think is their best of their metal stuff. This is Alternative 4, their fourth album. This was originally released in 1998. This, I think, is another 2003 pressing, Peaceful. And this is basically a mix of atmospheric gothic metal and what would eventually probably be called like alt metal. It's just a little bit cleaner, a little bit more modern sounding, I guess, than the super atmospheric Eternity. So this album is fucking great. The vocal performances are on point. The songwriting is fantastic. It doesn't meander and wander too much aimlessly. It's fucking great. Awesome. And then my favorite actual album by Anathema, at the time at least, is Weather Systems, which came out in 2012. I don't know which album this is. If it's like 10th or 8th, I have no idea. This is super like post-prog atmospheric rock. Super cool. I love this album so much. Just really pretty photography is the aesthetic. Very just soft, heartfelt, kind of like really emotional songwriting. I love this album so much. I think it came out on K-Scope Music, 2012. I originally had a digipack of this. Again, collection stolen. So now I have this beautiful jewel case, which actually I kind of prefer for this one. Just really nice photography. So far, yeah, this is my favorite Anathema record, at least as of now. I'm still missing out on like Judgment and We're Here 'Cause We're Here and all that other stuff. And A Fine Day to Exit, I haven't listened to that either. But yeah, really cool. This album, though, this is Distant Satellites. It came out in 2014 after Weather Systems. I remember being really excited for this album and then not ever getting a copy of this until like last year. Last spring, actually. I was still taking my Macabre Modernism class, which again is where I got my name, Macabre Manscape, Macabre Landscape. It's fine. Super pretty, super pretty aesthetic. Again, just very basic. The problem with this album is that it's super repetitive in that what each song, the artwork, the photography is just gorgeous. So the way that the songs work is that basically you start with like a drum beat or a piano loop or a guitar bit, and that just becomes the thing that the song is built on. So it just keeps going. It just keeps looping and looping and looping and looping for 6 minutes, while like vocals come do almost nothing on top of it. This is a really weird album, and I don't really enjoy it. It's just too repetitive. And yeah, I don't know. It was just really disappointing. I do love a nice slipcase again. Okay, last band. I might actually turn this up a little bit. Last band is Angel. This is the solo project, secondary project of Imperial vocalist, ex-Trail of Tears vocalist, Helena Iren Mikkelsen, I think is how you say it, Norwegian singer. This is a very different kind of project than Imperial, which Imperial was like a bombastic, symphonic kind of gothic metal project. This is a mix between symphonic metal and like 90s adult contemporary piano alternative music. So, especially here in this first album, which actually has quite a few metal songs, it will fully go Tori Amos, Sarah McLachlan style, piano-driven, strumming, clean, like guitars, acoustic guitars. And it's just supposed to be like a very, cathartic kind of project was the point of this. I think her mother was murdered the year before this, the year before it came out. And so there's a lot of songs about, like, womanhood and, like, especially, like, Mother. There's a song called Mother. And it's just this, like, constant theme in her stuff about, like, what it is to be, like, a mother. And it's just a very interesting kind of take. And then she named her daughter Angel, which kind of became also like a big theme for her, again, as motherhood, being a mother, which then in this album, which came out 2020, this actually came out last year, one of the 5 albums I listened to last year. This is A Woman's Diary Chapter 2, A Woman's Diary Chapter 1. Took 15 years, 2005 to 2020, to finally get a follow-up. This is, again, much more of a adult contemporary alternative acoustic album, with a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, not really. But there is some like growls. She does some cool growls in here in the song Imprisoned and operatics, and it's very dramatic, sometimes, but for the most part it is just an acoustic, alternative, rock album. And this one, a lot of it is inspired by, I don't know, a lot of people probably don't really know this about what's going on with her is, she's currently in, like, a legal case with, like, the Norwegian government trying to get custody of her daughter back. I don't really know a lot of the details, but, my heart does go out to her, and I hope that she is successful in that endeavor. But yeah, so this is probably, honestly, my favorite album of last year. This was released on Massacre Records. And it's just, I don't know, it's very sweet. It's a very sweet record sometimes, very sad. It's really good. And that's all I have for you today. Like, subscribe, I guess, leave comments, engagement, call to action. I'm going to just use that now as my sign-off. Call to action. Oh, bye. Thanks for watching.